Hey, what's up, everybody? We've got a great show for you today on From Prison to Purpose. On today's episode, we are going to be talking with Andrew Hagar. He is a social media influencer, a content creator. He's got close to 1 million followers on social media. This guy has survived the throes of crack addiction, IV drug use, incarceration, insanity.
Mm.
He was literally the epitome of the stigma that surrounds the image of someone trapped in active addiction. And now, 10 years later, he's in long-term recovery. It's almost 10 years or after, maybe longer than 10 years. How long has it been since you used?
My sobriety date, clean date, depending on what fellowship you're in, is February the 7th, 2014. Get ready to hit that hot 10 piece, baby. February 7th. 10 hot years. Ooh, Lord.
No, well, that's nuts because it's 20 days in front of my recovery date, and I'm
Wow.
getting ready to touch 9 years. So,
Okay. Nina Ross.
yeah, old 9 piece.
We need that. God is good.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm excited to have you on the show and just want to welcome you. And I got to thank our sponsors, all the people who made this happen, right? Like we've got to thank the American Business Engine, which is my podcast producers and editors, Safe Haven Ministries and Treatment Center for allowing me the studio, and then Next Step Recovery Housing for sponsoring us, and the National Peer Recovery Alliance. And to get you here, it was Link Church.
Church, Pastor David, Link Church. What amazing, what amazing group of people, and they make you feel welcome straight from the jump.
Yeah,
welcome you right where you're at, and that's so important because that's the whole piece that's missing a lot of times with churches and other things, not welcoming a person, making them feel wanted, welcome there, regardless of where they're at in life. And Link has that, Pastor Dave. They really dig in, and I don't care what you look like, what you're wearing, they welcome you, open arms. Amen.
Yeah, you went off up there last night too. You spoke, you gave your testimony, and you went off like bottle rockets, man. How'd that feel?
It really felt good about what God is definitely doing because, I don't know nothing. 28 years of not seeking God and active addiction, I led, and this, Jimmy, you play a big part in getting me to Arkansas, a couple of years ago when people were doubting me and judging me, judging my recovery, and you went to bat for me. You put your name on the line and so forth and so on. And here we are again 3 years later back in Arkansas hanging out with you. Man, just it felt amazing, that Pastor Dave would see in me what you saw in me 3 years ago and invite me to the church. It's called the Week of Fire, if I'm not mistaken. And, allowing God to use me, at the congregation. And it was just amazing, man. And words can't explain. There's no high like the Most High. Again, no drugs or alcohol can ever put you in that mindset of the high that only God can give you, that void that only He can fill. And I'm just truly blessed, man, to be here with you. I love you, man.
I appreciate
I mean that with all my heart. I'm an emotional guy, but you're my guy, man. And I love you, bro.
I love you too, man. So I didn't know where you were. Do you want to get into that? Is that something you want to talk about on the show? Now, I do want to say anything that we don't want, Ty can go in and he can cut it out, right?
Man, I'm an open book.
Do you want to talk about why people were judging you? Is that something? Because you've never really told that side of your story.
It is what it is. People were judging me without knowing me. The bottom line is, and being confused by what other people said. So, I feel, and my thing is, I know response is a response. So I really feel it's irrelevant, but I mean, it's on you, whatever,
Yeah. I mean,
people gonna judge.
I think
Y'all gonna judge you want to, boy, huh? God ain't passing out applications out there. Oh, get off me, devil. Hallelujah.
I think, there's a lot of confusion about what recovery advocates do on social media, and that had people that I work with in my circles looking at you crazy because of your affiliations with specific social media people who were getting caught up with the term body brokering, right?
That's true. Yeah.
And so I guess to start, that's a great place, right? Because I never got that from you. I never felt that vibe, right? Like if you're working for a treatment center and you're helping get people for that treatment center, to me, it's crazy that people would attack somebody for that.
Right.
Right. But they're they did. They were attacking you for that. And I guess, do you want to talk about that?
No, that's fine, man. Whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, a lot of that stemmed from their own jealousy and not knowing me as a person and not seeing, because I don't boast about it. It's not my glory to boast about. I'm just allowing God to use me. So many people came through that God used me to be a vessel in their lives to get them the help that they needed, with not a pot to pee in or a window to throw it out, no insurance, homeless. And I would call, I had a group of individuals that had the same heart, like a Mark LaPalme, the founder of Isaiah House, countless scholarships, all over the United States, getting people
Yeah.
into to his treatment center at the time, where he was the founder and the CEO. And we don't
So,
talk about that.
well, why do people call that body brokering?
Man, look here. Uh,
I guess
I guess they
it's
seen the movie. I don't know. They just got their
what.
own percent. What the peanut? Come on, y'all.
Well, what you're a little close to the mic too.
Oh, lottie dottie, we likes to party.
What is I get, what is body brokering?
Man, I think it's, and again, like, from what my understanding is, basically you're only helping people, and you're not helping people. You're not doing kindness. You're not doing what was so freely given to us to find our way on the narrow path to get the abundant blessings. You're looking to make money off of people's pain, is the way I look at it.
Yeah,
And that's not the case at
I'm
all. I mean,
still
it's a little
I'm still
deeper.
confused, right? Like, so if I work for a treatment center and I'm helping you get into that treatment center, that's called an intake coordinator. So,
Outreach intake,
yeah,
yeah.
I guess I'm just confused on all of it.
I'm confused too right now. What's going on?
All right.
But no, I get it, Jimmy, because I mean, and people are people, and a lot of it stem from other people's opinions and hearsay, and again, I don't post about the thing that, when God is using me to lift somebody else up. I don't sit there and talk about, oh, I did this, I did, because I ain't done nothing. See, I got 28 years experience not seeking God. And in that 28 years, I had led two of my four sons to the penitentiary. That's the kind of leader I was. I had them out here shoplifting. When they were younger, they would ask their mother, why don't I love them? See, because I caused a lot of pain in their lives, man. A lot of harm to them, a lot of trauma in their lives. And going through all that process, that's not who I am today.
Yeah,
I'm
you're a
not
good
that
dude.
person today. I have a good relationship with my children. I have a great relationship with my grandchildren. Um, and again, this is all through finding my true identity in Christ. Don't let me irritate your demons out there if you ain't a believer, and that's okay. God been doing it. Jesus been doing it for 2,000 years. But that's why I have, my experience. And that's all I have is my experience.
Yeah.
And there's hope in my experience. Now, if it's my opinion, I'll tell you it's my opinion.
Yeah.
So, because I'm just saying.
Do you remember the first time you did a drug? Or
Yeah, man, I was alcohol probably 10, 11 years old. My grandfather who raised me, he bootlegged back when, I'm 52. So that was back in the day. And kept half pints of Kessler all over this, cases of Kessler. And, on election day, they passed him out to get votes. I remember, you know what I mean? And on Sundays, you couldn't buy, right?
they would pass the whiskey out to get votes to.
Well, yeah, certain politicians, you pick up some homeless cats, some alcoholics living under the bridge, back in the day.
Now, where was this at?
This was over in Irishtown, downtown
Kentucky.
Lexington, Kentucky.
How big is Lexington, Kentucky?
Man, I don't know the ratio. It's growing, it's
Okay.
getting bigger. So yeah, man, what they would do is and again, this is back, oh my gosh, in the 80s. With politicians in the county, right? Which is Fayette. A lot of people they would get people, to pass out the half pints of Kessler for basically, the homeless alcoholic population, and take them to the, to vote. It was insane. It was crazy. Again, I don't know, man. It's the world we live in. Just getting caught up.
How big is the homeless population there?
It's grown tremendously. in Lexington,
Well, I'm just curious to how big it would have been
back
when they're
then.
back then. I mean, it had to be relevant enough for them to be
Right,
doing that.
right. Yeah. I mean, it is, most of the guys, they would call them boarders. They would draw, a lot of veterans, that lost their way to alcoholism, and people would take them in and charge them to stay there. And keep them sober until they got their checks, when they got their disability, their SSI, whatever. And it was a real hustle back then.
So that's how you had your first drink was
Yeah, yeah, just wanted to see what was popping off with it, because people was beating on the door 2, 3 in the morning, on Sundays, and after the liquor stores closed and everything. So,
do you remember how old you were?
right, anywhere from probably 9, 10 years old. But but the real thing was when my neighbor that lived actually behind me, older cat, he was already dabbling in that white devil snow.
White Devil Snow.
Yeah, so
Is that cocaine?
that's cocaine.
How old were you when you did cocaine?
Uh, probably, and it was a little, later on in life, 14, 15, that kind of thing, powder my nose. But again, my neighbor, I met a girl, and she was a lot older than me, and
When you were 15?
right at 16, she was 22. I thought I was really doing something. Oh, what
Young
up?
cat with the older
What
chick.
up, girl? Shows.
Come powder my nose
Hold
for
me,
me.
baby. But yeah, man, my neighbor, he was already gunning, um, gunning and everything. So I started shooting dope, and
At 16?
started shooting cocaine. Yeah, man.
Is that how it started? How did you get to shooting dope at 16 from alcohol at 10?
The neighbor, man, like I said, it was his thing. I had a plug, I could get pretty much anything out there, at that time. I was pretty much plugged in, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, dude, can you get me some powder? I'm like, okay. And that's all it took. At that time, I just asked a few people. Next thing I know, I'm plugged in, you know?
So, how did you end up? You tell me the story of how you ended up doing your first shot of dope
I was just with him. I got him a 16th, and
of
he's like,
coke,
yeah. He's like, oh, you're missing out. If you're just blowing it, you're wasting it. And that's all it took. I'm like, oh gosh.
and he had to hit you.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And what'd that feel like?
Yeah, man. It's just, yeah, yeah, I can't just, man. I don't know. Wasn't nothing, like I said, it took away everything. You just obsessed, right? Again, didn't grab a hold of me totally, but never forgot it.
Yeah.
And if something went awry, again, with what I suffer from, this insidious condition of addiction, it don't have to be a bad day; it can be a good day, and it'll hit you. The thoughts will hit you to use. But yeah, basically, what it felt like, man, is what it felt like. It was I never felt anything like it before.
It was enough to make you want to do it again,
It
huh?
again and again and again, and yeah, this is the obsession.
So, did you use it before? I mean, how long were you doing it before you injected it?
Oh gosh, probably around 6 months. To keep the girl. You know what I'm saying?
So it progressed really quickly with you.
Yeah, it got out of hand real quick. That's how I grew up. See, I was in back in the late '80s, early '90s, when weed was a thing, when they would actually send you to penitentiary over weed. My grandparents, again, selling a lot of weed, big weight weed, and everything. And it's the first time, I was actually 16, and SWAT kicked the door in. You know what I mean? SWAT kicked the door in, pretty crazy. Had the guns in my face, this and that. But again, how I grew up, chaos wasn't chaos. It was normal to me. I remember, visiting penitentiaries, LaGrange over in Kentucky, as a little boy, to visit my uncles and so forth and so on. So again, chaos was a chaos. It was normal to me. I had a lot of little boy issues that it was never addressed my whole life.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of verbal abuse. Never knew my father. He died a month and a half before I was born. My mother was 15-year-old, a child having a baby. She gets remarried and starts a new family when I'm 6 months old. So my grandparents, they raised me and to the best of their ability. And if I get real, like, I remember I had two younger uncles in the house, 12 and 13. And there they were. They were huffing paint in the backyard, gold, silver paint. And I remember when Christmas, of course, the Christmas tree's up. Everybody's happy. They're my granny and grandpa. They listen to Conway and Loretta, and they're having a good time. And next thing I know, the Christmas tree's in the floor. My granny done broke a fifth bottle, stabbed my granddaddy through the gut. Now we got the police and the paramedics there. I'm a little boy.
Your grandma stabbed your grandpa in the
Yeah,
stomach with a
yeah.
broken whiskey bottle?
Yeah, fifth. She broke it. Like I said, everything was going good, then boom, all at once. Nutter and squirrel turd, total chaos.
Grandma wasn't nothing to play with.
Grandma was the real deal. She was real deal Holyfield. If you didn't know, now you know, because I told you so. She was about that life. But
Grandma was a killer.
yes, and again, chaos wasn't chaos. Going to the penitentiary, I had an uncle that killed a man over a half pint of whiskey, who was a bootlegger, and going to visit because he was short 65 cents. I'm talking, man, I don't think we really grasp, the so-called normal people don't grasp how insidious the disease, and you can call it a choice disease, but the bottom line, our kids don't care. They just want their mom and daddy back. But the bottom line, cunning, baffling, powerful, insidious, obsessing, and that's all happening to have that next one. Spent so many years, again, not knowing who I was and taking on as who I was as what the world told me I was. I had a hard time, like I said, the little boy issues. I was told I was a feeble-minded little dumb son of a bitch. Go run into a mailbox like your father. He ran into one of those big concrete mailboxes over in Nicholasville and Spur Road and took his head off, closed casket. Again, I never knew the guy, right? But these are things that would be said to me, when I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
And then when I'm in school, I start school. They call home, tell my grandmother that I need more help, and they label me special ed because I can't read or write as well as the other kids. So I'm already feeling like this, less than, not worthy. Like, I remember, and see, in this process of recovery, we start to remember some things, right? We get to the root of the problem because all this other stuff was a symptom that I'm trying to stop. Third grade, me and my best friend in third grade, Kenny Sloan, he was like Einstein, you know what I mean? He was already just killing it. We got in trouble in homeroom for a horseplay. We go to the office, the principal, Miss Allball, she looks at Kenny. I'm sitting, next to him. She looks at Kenny, stoops down her knee. You have a bright future. You can be anything you want to be. And just lifting him up. And I'm sitting next to him, waiting on waiting on her to give me some encouragement, and it didn't happen. So I'm already taking all this stuff from my house, and they're being labeled less than, not being able to read well, and this and that. Then you got the principal of the school telling my buddy we're in trouble for the same thing, for horseplay, but she's telling him he's got a bright future. He can be anything he wants to be. And I'm sitting there waiting for her to tell me, hey man, you got a bright, you can do this. It never happened. Again, not playing victim today. Victims don't recover. But these are a lot of things that I didn't realize that really affected me, that caused some trauma in my life as I got older. And the things I said I would never do with the verbal abuse with my children. But I did it because there was no work. If you conceal it, you can't heal it. And I never opened up about how I truly felt. Pride, ego, worried about judgment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, like I said, again, chaos wasn't chaos in so many years, like I never dreamt in a million years that, and me, Jimmy, and again, you know my story, by leading two of my four sons to the penitentiary. That's the kind of father I was. When I did have them, I would take them shoplifting. They were 5 and 6 years old, and in the insanity, my way of thinking, that I was teaching them a set of job skills. That they were going to grow up to be prosperous in life, and they were going to be doctors and lawyers and such. Somebody wrote a song about it. But that's really my mindset. That's how it was thinking at the time, that I'm teaching these kids job skills by showing them how to go in there and steal stuff without paying for it. See, because a bird teach a bird how to fly, a fish teach a fish how to swim. Of course, my children have a snowball's chance at a microwave with a father like me. And that's what I did. I led them down that wide path that is so easy to follow. I did the same things that I said I wouldn't do that were done to me, with verbal abuse, not lifting them up, not being a positive influence in their life, negative. Everybody that came in contact with me during all that left off worse than they were when they met me. Um, again, being locked up with my son Jordan. And of course, when he was 5, he would ask his mother, "Why doesn't my father love me?" This is a little boy who's 5 years old, who's going to school, and they're having donuts with dads on, in school functions, and the other boys, his friends and his classmates, their fathers and mothers are there, and I'm not. Where's your dad? These are questions that are asked. And he don't know. I'm talking about the things I did. I robbed my children of their childhood by having to worry about their dad, if he's alive, if he's dead, and things like that, And with my granny, like I tell you, and you know this, it was never the tangible things that I had stolen. It was the intangible things that I had took. Again, my grandmother, restless nights, not being able to sleep, wondering if I'm dead or alive. Again, robbing my children of their childhood. But yeah, Jimmy, man, like again, I love what you're doing, and I love you. And I said this at the NARP conference in Pensacola last year. If there was a face for recovery, which there isn't, but it would be your face, because you've done so much for so many. Again, God using you to do these things, and you helped me along the lines of start to believe in self. See, because I told you about the little boy issues, and they're very strong in me today. But God places people like you, Jimmy, like Teddy Milton, like so many to lift me up, Alicia Howard, to tell me I have purpose, to tell me I have worth. And I need to hear that. It's very important, because we don't know what a person's really dealing with in between the ears when that devil gets in there.
Hey, so how long did you get high for?
Oh, gosh, I only smoked crack once for 28 years. Yeah.
Perfect clip, Ty. Right, start to finish. Shortest clip ever.
Ever.
Ever. So you smoked crack for 28 years.
Yeah.
I got to ask, man, because when we interview people with addiction, some of the best laughs we have are the stuff that we can look back on and laugh at. What's a crazy story about how you got crack?
Oh, man. Well, I had to steal from my crack because I'm not good looking. You know what I mean? So there's that. I had a very special set of skills that I thought. So, Lord have mercy, Jesus. But the funniest story, there were so many of them. I remember Truck and Tractor Supply. I'd walk out with chainsaws, meg welders. I remember the lady come running out behind me at Truck and Tractor Supply. I'm not going to tell you what county, but she said, "Give me that chainsaw back. I'm calling the law." And of course, the car I had West Virginia tags on it that I had acquired. And she gave me the chainsaw back. I said, "Well, if I give you the chainsaw back, are you still going to call the law?" And she says, "No," but she didn't know I brought 2 out. I just gave her 1 back. True story. A guy's on a telephone pole in Lexington, Kentucky. He's up the telephone pole on his ladder, and he's got the generator at the bottom of him, right on South Broadway.
You stole it while he was up on the pole.
Pulled right up threw his generator in the back of this 87 Cavalier, and he's up there cussing me, calling me this and calling me that, and I'm just giggling, laughing, and driving off. What the peanut? It's, again, there wasn't anything glamorous about this stuff, man. But the things we do to get that next one are just insane.
Yeah, we don't stop till we get what we
We
need.
get what we want. Yeah, what we need. I've been in, and I told you, I've been in 3 different busts with SWAT teams kicking in doors. The third one and the last one was a well-known trap house. with some weight in there. And of course, I'm just in there, there's like 10, 15 people in there. Well, they're sorting them out. And of course, I give them a fake name, and I'm getting ready to go out the door, and this chick's over whispering to the dude in his SWAT uniform. Next thing I know, he's saying my name. Of course, I've always got warrants on me. I mean, I don't go back to court. I don't go see the PO. You know what I mean? Absconding, that kind of thing. And of course, they got me then. Real funny story. They hit me up over in Clark County, Winchester, Kentucky, and of course, I give them my cousin's name, who's never been arrested, never been in any kind of trouble. And they booked me under his name, but they didn't fingerprint me, nor did they take a picture. It was a misdemeanor shoplifting. And I'm like, okay. So I called my fence guys that I'd been selling all the hot stuff to. And of course, they sent someone down to bond me out. And the person bonded me out. It was a cash bond. I think it was like $600 or something. Not major. For a crackhead, it was a lot of money for me. But anyway, um, bonds me out. The dude didn't have to sign anything. So a couple years later, my cousin gets pulled over for speeding. And of course, he has outstanding warrants on him in Clark County in Winchester. So my aunt, at that time, I'm in Fayette County Drug Court,
Mm-hmm.
going through through the thing, and it was crazy. She called me. She knew already because she'd heard me over the police scanner so many times using his name late night, because again, he's never been in trouble. And yeah, man, she called. I had to get honest. It was really scary. I had to go to Danielle Sanders over drug court, Connie Reed, and I was doing great in there. Well, I was going through the motions, what they seen. I was doing great. I wasn't using, but I was doing, all money ain't good money. And so they went to court with me, and the judge, dismissed everything. It was pretty amazing. Like, oh, I see you got some heavy hitters here today, Mr. Hagar. She really respected Danielle Sanders and Connie Reed. The judge did, and told me not to be putting nothing, stealing nothing without, yeah. But anyway, it took a lot for my aunt to forgive me. God rest her soul. And she was the aunt that took me everywhere she went with her kids. That's the first time I'd ever been been to theme parks, things like that. She would make sure she always picked me up and made me a part of.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, we do whatever it takes to get that next one.
So you told a story last night at the church about being butt naked with a shopping cart. Was that a true story?
Yeah, I made that, man. Look here, man. Butthole naked. That was my thing. I like pushing out buggies, because you load them bad boys up and get out the way. I caught my first felony over in Versailles, actually where I live now. Just loading up a buggy. Then they just get a kick out of it, being butt naked, running around Walmart thinking you're invisible. It meant to do that to you. Want the peanut? Lord have mercy. Get off me, devil.
Yeah.
Tweaking and a geeking. They can't
Yes.
see me now.
Yes. So okay. So how did you get clean?
Wow. That's a good one. I graduated Fayette County Drug Court in 2004. But at that time, I was just getting the meeting sheet signed. I wasn't doing anything different. I thought that success was material things. I thought success was cars. Being able to buy clothes, shoes for my children. Again, being present but not there, even in that. Um, so it took a long time, man. I acquired quite a bit of material. Like I said, I had a nice plug, um, selling dope, and where I was had those consequences. I thought, oh, so I got addicted, right? See, money's not the root of evil; it's the love of money, and I got on that real tough. All money's not good money. It wasn't until again, from what I've seen, my son, like I told you, when he was 5, you asked, why does my father love me, and taking him shoplifting and so forth and so on. I'm the type of father that uses with his kids.
Yeah, but how did you get clean?
So I got with, like I said, me and my son started using together. and we were dope sick, man. When the 30s hit real big, I was using the 80s real tough. I'm gonna get to where I'm getting clean, but I was meeting some D boys over at the Greyhound in Cincinnati, picking up the OC 80s before they changed the recipe, and of course, my son at that time, he started using around 15, 16, 15. And as he got older, I started using with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're riding along, man. And I'll get to it. How did I get clean, man? Because look here, the insanity of my way of thinking. I didn't know nothing else. I didn't think there was nothing else. So I'm using with my son, and yeah, we're in a '87 Chevette. We're rolling down Versailles Road, and we're dope sick, right? And I don't even know whose car it was, but we had the Obama phones and whoop, whoop. He jumps out of the car, agitated, aggravated, got to get one. And he does exactly what I taught him. He goes up the road there and breaks into a home. And he calls me 10 minutes later, Dad, pick me up. So I go to pick him up. And he starts getting over in the shrubs, the bushes, pulling out all kinds of flat tops, some computers, yada yada. And I asked my son, "Did you wear gloves? Were there any cameras?" That's the kind of father I was. The insanity. But he gets hit on a B&E about 4 or 5 months later, and he's locked up. He's an adult now in Fayette County, and so many times been locked up and had to detox on the jail floor. But this last time, man, there I was. I got put in the same unit with my son who was 18. I go in, I'm not weighing in, I'm dope sick. I can't hold my mud. I'm using the bathroom on myself and detoxing, staying in the shower, the restless legs, all that. And Carlton Robinson, which was over the 12-step program inside the facility, he knew my family. He knew them from in and out of jail, incarceration. You know what I mean? And he says, "Do you love your?" He said, "Do you love your kids?" And I said, "Hell yeah." What kind of ignorant question is that? And he hit me with old truth bomb. Where your actions don't show, you know, you love jail food. You love sleeping in here with all these men. I had to really stop. And it did. I mean, that's simple. How it registered, like, damn,
You were just ready to hear it.
uh, there it is.
Well, they
Bro.
say the only thing that changes is the messenger, right? Like, I don't, for me, people tried to reach me for decades, right? Like, I
Right.
got high for 23 years, and teachers, preachers, jailhouse people, police officers, parole officers, judges, case managers, therapists, psychiatric people, everybody tried to tell me that I didn't have to live like that.
Oh, you even had to see a nut doctor?
Yeah, I saw everybody
Okay, my
from
bad.
the time I was a kid.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
and the only thing that changed was the person carrying the message.
Mm.
Message was still the same. I didn't have to do drugs and I could live a better life. That's the message. And the person carrying the message made it hit different.
And no, and I like that. I think you're absolutely on point because I'd heard it for so long. My grandmother begging me, please, after my grandfather passed. And again, the story. I'm coming over the hill and I just copped some dope, and this man raised me. I used his water, his electric aid, his groceries, and he was laid out in the side yard with paramedics around him. He died that day. I didn't even go to his funeral. Few months pass and I go back to the house, and it's just my grandmother. She's on a fixed income. She's retired she's retired. She was a janitor all her life and on a fixed income. And I go in and she smoked, and she had fell asleep and cigarettes burning a hole through the mattress. And me being the good grandson I am, I put the fire out with a glass of water, but I didn't wake her up. I went and found her purse and stole off her money. Show up 3 days later, and after butt stinking, and my grandmother standing at the door crying, she's crying and she's weeping and she's frail. She's old. And again, don't you love me, Andrew? Don't you love me no more? And all these things, man, that I had stuff, right? She said, I'll find a way to eat. I'll find a way to get food. Will you please get some help? So exactly what you said, the message has always been there. It was the messenger. And at this time of my life, when Carlton said that, I'm facing 10 years PFO1, right, for third-degree assault on a police officer. And I really had to stop and look, man. I created this.
Yeah.
There's my son, just turned 18. And they offered him 5 up front, on a B&E. I created all that. And I didn't want to own that, but I had to. I could not stop crying. It's 80 men to a unit, full of water, to have to look at me, the root of the problem.
And that was 10 years ago?
Going on February the 7th this year, it'll be 10 years, man. No mood altering substance, man. Again, I don't care how you recover. If it works for you, your recovery is your recovery. This is just my story, what works for me. God kept sending people in to show me the way. And that's how I looked at it, man. This last trip when I was locked up facing the 10 years, people investing in me. You had your H&I people coming in. They weren't quartered to do so. They were coming in, giving back. They were taking time away. And I got to look at these things away from their family to come in and carry a message of hope that, like you said, I don't ever have to go to jail again. I don't have to go to prison again against my will.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing stuff, man.
Yeah. So, your recovery is abstinence-based, but you don't judge anybody else's recovery.
No, definitely not. Of course, Jordan Justice, their mother, she's in a MAT program, been like that for, quite some time, and it works for her. Who am I to throw stones?
Yeah.
Right?
I know a lot of people that have pretty amazing lives that they got clean through MAT.
Well, while I'm out there doing what I do, not helping with anything, she's made sure the Christmas tree was up, the birthday cake was there, the turkey was on the table at Thanksgiving through her MAT program.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. What do you think about like the cannabis recovery? Because we're starting to see a lot of that.
I really don't have an opinion about it right now. Again, I try to just, I don't.
Yeah.
All I can tell you is what works for me. I have no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't no experience with it.
I don't think I have a problem with it either, man. I mean, I'd rather see somebody smoking weed than doing heroin. You know what I mean? But like if my choice is to see cannabis recovery or no recovery, then I would want to see cannabis recovery. But it's weird for me personally because I'm an abstinence-based guy.
Yeah. Well, we come up at a different time and times change, and I get that as long as keeping people alive. But again, it's not my thing, so I really can't speak on it.
That's important too, right? Like because addiction has evolved over the last 100 years, and so if recovery doesn't evolve, we don't stand. It's like you said, we don't stand a snowball's chance in a microwave to overcoming the epidemic and the crisis that we're in. And so you're starting to see all these harm reductionists emerge across the country, and I'm kind of into harm reduction. I'm not really into moderation drug use. Right. It's hard for me to support that.
Well, an addict like me and you, there's no, come on, man.
Yeah, it all ends in
balls
death.
To the wall, son.
Yeah. So for me, harm reduction would have been a complete waste of time because it all ends in insanity, incarceration, and death.
Well, me and you wouldn't be showing up to get the needle exchange no way because we'd have warrants on us. We thought it was a setup. Let's be real.
Yeah, and then too, if I had a shot of dope, I wouldn't be wasting my time to go find a clean syringe.
Didn't have time, right?
Yeah,
right.
I'm doing whatever I've got with what I've got. And I remember being in the penitentiary watching people make syringes
yes.
out of light bulb strings and ink pens.
That's
you know what I mean? You know, and
Yeah.
there were rumors that people in the kitchen were making them out of chicken bones, you know, the
Oh
hollow,
yeah, yeah.
hollow piece of a chicken bone. And I'm like, man, that is so crazy.
That is wild.
It's like using a horse syringe, you know, it's a
I've used a
giant
horse syringe before, and they're a lot. It's like
That
what?
is nuts. You
It's a,
might as well try to shoot dope with a golf
it's a
club.
plug, bro. Like what's a peanut? Jesus. But yeah, man, just I don't know, Jimmy. We're just so blessed in this process. You know, again, I know, and you hit me to that, you know, different pathways. And again, like my experience with that is Jordan Justice's mother, very successful woman,
Yeah.
grandmother, great grandmother, great mother. And it works for her.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. You know, a lot of like Narcan is harm reduction.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we know for a fact Narcan saves lives. Dead people can't recover. Another component that I really like about harm reduction is the wound dressing, right? Like you know, a lot of harm reduction people will go out into the community and they will bandage the wounds. They will give them, you know, neosporin and bandages and,
Well, and just a kind word on top of that.
yeah, yeah,
And especially when you got people in harm reduction that have been there through that
yeah,
self-made hell that found a way out.
yeah,
Excuse me.
yeah, for sure. And so, yeah, the moderation use is hard for me. So let's talk about how you blew up on Facebook.
Oh wow.
Like, how did a dope fiend like you,
Hmm.
a $2 crackhead,
What
by
the?
your words,
Yeah, my
you know, that was your description of you, as you was a $2 needle junkie,
$2 crackhead noodle junkie. Yeah.
and now you've got 730 something thousand followers on Facebook. How did that happen?
Well, I never had social media when I was locked up with my son again, Jordan. All these young Thundercats, I call them, they'd be on that press box and they call home to the mama, put on my status and whoop whoop, and you know I'm
Tell
over.
them free me.
Yeah, free me. They hold me against my will, and I'm like, what is he talking about? Oh, he's getting his mama put on his Facebook. My son would tell me, and
And you're like, what is Facebook?
I'm like, what? Yeah, well, I knew I'd heard of it, but I wasn't. I was too busy, you know, getting dope, you know,
Yeah.
out here stealing, trying to get a hit.
Yes, bro. We ain't got no time for no social
Oh,
media. I'm trying to be
I
high,
had no idea
fly like a kite.
that it was addictive. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I get out, right? And in 2014, and you know, again, Jordan makes me a Facebook. Yeah, makes me a Facebook. Help me. What did you make me? Oh, I want to run it up. Mayday, Mayday. He makes me a Facebook, right? So
Yeah.
anyway, I get on there and you know, I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And you start to see people that you hadn't seen forever. And I was like, wow, this is pretty neat. But I go to Burlington Coat Factory one day.
And you're clean at this time.
This was in 2016. So I got a couple years under my belt. No minor mood altering, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm highly involved in H&I.
Yeah. You're
Through a
involved in the
fellowship.
recovery program. Yeah.
Yes. I have a sponsor. My sponsor has a sponsor. My sponsor's sponsor has a sponsor, and so on and so forth. And I'm working the steps, right? I actually work the steps. You know, so I'm in there, like I said, a little over 2 years, and the live button, and I'm just being real. The live button means you live. I had no idea. I thought I was recording myself because I like to make myself laugh.
Yeah. So you're going to record a video and send it to somebody.
Yeah, I'm going to get on there and wreck shop. You heard me? I said, you know, I'm going to just wreck, man. So I hit the live button and I'm like, hey, you know, I used to go in there and steal this shit. Thanks to the program of Narcotics Anonymous, I don't live like that today. I can actually hit this up right here. I can get this old button down for $22.95. Take it to the counter, baby, and I can pay for it. You know, because I found a new way to live.
Yeah.
Lost dreams awaken, new possibilities arise. Here I come. Oh, watch me now. But then people started commenting on what is going on.
Yeah, they're interacting on
Now
your
people
video.
tell me I'm breaking traditions and anonymity, and people know you're in this program. What if you relapse? Shit, you got on the NA shirt. What if you relapse? Lay down, drunk. I'm saying, but it was crazy because I'm like, oh Lord. So I
You're
turned,
live and didn't know that
didn't
you went
know
live.
it. So I turned it off. I'm like, oh, uh-oh. You know what I mean? I got spooked. I'm like, oh man. But couple people reach out to me. It's like, hey, we're starting this thing over in South Florida. We saw your video. We'd love you to be a part of it. And the dude calls me. Actually, it was Ben Rogatinsky.
Now, who's that?
He's a dude that had this. He's got a. He had, what is it called? He's got the radio thing. He's got a radio. I can't know.
Recovery radio.
Well, he's got a radio station, but he's starting recovery radio at the same time.
Okay.
And he said, we'd love to fly you down, whoop, whoop, whoop. And I hung up on it. I was like, oh, this dude weird. Hold up, man. Hey, bro.
He trying to trick you.
Oh, you trying to put me in an old trick bag. Hold up.
Play boy. Anyway. He trying to put something in you,
man.
He knows you'll go for the low.
I was like, oh, he trying to get me, huh? He got me out here wanting me to trick. Come on, man. So anyway, he calls back and I take the call. My buddy's like, man, this is real. This dude's legit. And so I take the call, and of course they fly me to Florida. But the trick behind that was they wanted me to jump out of a perfectly good plane. Like I said, I'd never been.
You to skydive.
I never been on a plane in my life, y'all. I catch somebody, either, I get a ride to Walmart, push a buggy out, steal something, right? Go sell the merch, get one, wind up going to jail, go to jail, do my time, that kind of thing. So they fly me to Florida and take me to another airstrip. And they suit me up. Next thing I know, I got a full-grown man strapped to my back. I'm sitting in his lap on the plane. It was just weird. It was almost, it was like, damn, I'm back in prison. What's going on back there, man? What's wrong with you? You know what I mean?
You wasn't sitting on the lap in prison, was you, man?
Nah, man. I just like to wreck. You know what I'm saying? To each his own, man. If that's your thing, look here, man. God loves you.
Do your thing.
I was
no judgment.
But, and this thing started taking off, Jimmy. It was like doors started opening again,
So
I did.
How many, you didn't have like a Facebook following when you accidentally went live?
No, not at all.
You just had a normal Facebook with probably a couple hundred people in there?
Yeah, just a normal Facebook. And I had people in my life that Teddy Milton was one of them. My buddy Teddy, law enforcement deputy over in Boone County, Kentucky. He kept saying, bro, he's seen other people doing this thing. This was early in it. He said, dude, you're just as good as them. So I'm telling you, I'm still struggling with little boy issues. Not good enough, not worthy enough. And he kept pressing me. A couple other people were like, dude, start this blog page. And I kept saying, man, I don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? So Teddy was one of the big supporter early in this thing, kept pressing me to do that. And so I did it. And of course, Carlton as well, big in the fellowship, huge in the fellowship. He's got like 27, 28 years, clean time. And was like, man, this is, you didn't press this. You weren't trying to do this. This was a God thing, accept the blessings. So that's kind of how it started. A lady made the page, and her name was Angie Stewart. She was like, I want to do the page. And she said, we're going to call it. And nobody had live at their name, right?
Yeah, you were the first.
And I actually was the first. And she's like, how about we had Andrew Hagar live?
Now there's all kinds of.
There's a billion of them. A couple people that had more following than me at that time snatched it up too, though, and added it to their name. But actually, Angie was the one that added the live. Let's do. I said, man, I don't know what y'all doing. Just do what y'all want to do. And,
have you ever thought about just taking the live off and just being Andrew Hagar?
Nah. I'm digging it, man. AHL family, baby. Oh, we ought to be live up in this piece, son. We gonna live. No, I haven't thought about that. I've got too many marketing brands and things like that. You know what I mean? It goes well with it doesn't bother me. If it irritates somebody's demons, that's on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like it. So how long did it take for you to reach the multitude of followers that you have now?
It was some time, and it wasn't an overnight thing. And I said this, Jimmy, from the beginning, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
I'm really having fun with this thing.
Yeah, social media is fun.
I'm not on here. I'm not talking crap about nobody. No response is a response. Because, they were eating my back out. They were talking crazy when I started. You had them, these Nazis and this and that, and I'm like, oh, okay, killer. You know what I mean? I didn't, no response is response, and my skin was thick anyway. Man, you can't,
Yeah,
you can't,
we
right?
done lived through the throes of drug use, crack use,
Yeah, can't
meth
nobody
use.
beat
Yeah,
me up like I beat me
yeah,
up.
we were
And
homeless, punk. What you gonna
look
do to
here,
us?
sissy, go look here.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
internet gangster,
but
keyboard banger.
and again, I just continue to have fun with it and not sweat numbers. Because again, I've seen it so many times. People get trapped in it for that status, like, oh, and this and that, and again, God kept putting people in my life to lead me to Him.
Hmm.
In my true identity, not false identity, and it just kept going and kept placing people in my life, and it just started growing and growing and growing. So basically, I started being, just being me and sharing my story, right? About the pain, the shame, the guilt, the harm,
Yeah,
this generational curses, what I had created with my grandchildren, right? Being rescued by the state, adopted out, just being real, man. Basically, in the fellowship, of course, basically dropping a fist step for everybody to see, being an open book,
yeah.
being real.
So yeah, no, I get that. I can imagine that you speak quite a lot, right? Like my following is nowhere near as big as yours. I've got a little over 100,000 followers on TikTok. About 100 and a half on Facebook. I'm working on YouTube, but those are really minute numbers compared to your numbers, and I speak a lot. So I can only imagine that the constant amount of people reaching out to you to come tell your story is probably astronomical, isn't it?
Yeah, I do get a lot, but I really feel again, I'm always having fun with this, even when my numbers weren't what they weren't, and we all get excited. Let me be real. I don't want you always do is full of crap, but we get excited about about things, and when it growed, I got excited, but at the same time, stayed not getting caught up in the numbers,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I do get a lot of people that reach out. I do a lot of local stuff around, around Lexington, around Woodford County, around Anderson County, Shelby County, Franklin, things like that.
How many times do you think you speak a month?
Holy moly, dude, that's funny you say that. Glory be to God, because I don't know nothing. I would love to add that up. Yeah, a monthly, local. It varies, and I really got to step back a lot of times because I'm just always in front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have a 6-year-old. God's got a sense of humor, and I'm trying to devote, my time to him to be that father that I've never been. And my son Justice is helping me with that because he's a father and show me the way. I really couldn't put a number on it. Monthly, probably six. I'm asked a lot, but I probably only do about 3 to 4 a month. You know, like, oh, I can't. But a lot of times I got to watch myself because I people please.
Yeah. It seems like every time I talk to you, and we talk 3 or 4 times
Yeah,
a
we talk a
week,
lot. You're my guy.
and it's like every time that I call you, you're like, I'm on my way to such and such treatment center.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't think 3 or 4 times a
Well,
month
that
is
could
an
mean
accurate
it
statement,
might not be,
unless you're
man.
lying to me in our morning phone calls.
No, a lot of it's me going to the monastery to help the nuns. When you call,
What? What?
what
Are
the
you still
peanut?
are you stealing from the nuns?
No, I had to baptize a few last week. They got out of control. Um, but anyway, don't do that. God don't like ugly. Hallelujah. No, but it is. I like I said, man. Like since I've been with you, I've done got 4 calls. One was for a high school over in E Town, and of course the Men's Hope Center right there in Lexington. And then oh my God, oh, South Shore Recovery Works, and that's dear to me. That's the last place I saw my daughter alive. I dropped her off there for treatment. Recovery Works, and of course South Shore, Kentucky. And they hit me up, want if I'd speak at their alumni day. actually today, and I said, well, I'm in Arkansas, and they said, well, can we reschedule? I said, sure. Well, when I get back, we'll get on a phone call and make this happen. I don't, isn't it crazy? I mean, God has put me in position, and you as well, that we didn't even ask for. And to just set back sometimes, Jimmy, and be like, wow, a wretch like me, to really look at how blessed we are. Because I always do, man. No matter when this evil committee hits me in between my ears and tells me I'm no good, I'm not loved, nobody cares about me, when I'm caught up in self pity, I'm like, hold up, man. Look here, man. I ain't put no dope in me, man. Going on 10 years. I ain't had to go to jail. I ain't had to stand in front of a judge, and tell the judge I'm sick and tired of my past being my future, Your Honor. Can you help me? See, I ain't had to do none of that,
Mm,
right? It's just you sat, you really look. I hadn't had to wait on a state tray.
yeah.
I hadn't had to get on that press box and beg somebody to put some money on my books.
Yeah.
I get invited to Christmas dinner today. I get invited to Thanksgiving dinner today. I get to pick my granddaughters up who was rescued by the state, who were adopted out. I get to take them today and get their nails done.
Yeah.
I get to take them to buy them shoes where I took their father shoplifted to steal his shoes.
Full circle.
Full circle, man.
That's how you go from prison to purpose, man.
Woo, praise God. Let it out, baby. Prison Purse right here with Jimmy McGill, the great one. No doubt about it, baby. Ho,
Hey,
ho.
look though, a lot of times the prison that we're in is mental and
Huh?
not physical. Like,
Don't know you locked up in there.
yeah, what's that quote that you
I'm going to
always like
tell you,
to?
I'm glad you asked. There's a quote by Harriet Tubman. I had freed 1,000 slaves. I would have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. And that's the problem with the world. We stay
Yeah.
locked up in between our ears and not finding our purpose in God, the perfect peace. Isaiah 9:6, the Prince of Peace, see Jehovah Jireh. He said, I'm going to send y'all governor. I'm going to send y'all the Prince of Peace. He said it right there. He put a name on it. Peace, the Prince of Peace, perfect peace. Not sometimes peace, perfect peace. Isaiah 60, it says, rise and shine. Yes, arise and shine in him. Be glorify him, because he's going to continue to bless you abundantly in his love. Because here's what we do. Well, I can't think about him all the time. That's impossible. That's hard. Well, you thought about that dope every day, how you was going to get that next one. Or even you so-called normal people, when that little cute girl batted her eyes at you and smiled at you, obsessed over her, couldn't quit thinking about her. So I got to invite God in everything I do, huh? The creator, nobody greater than our Lord and Savior. The best rock on the block is Jesus, baby. You got to go through the Son to get to the Father. Get out the way. Don't shoot me down, because I'm preaching real good. Can I get a amen? Can I get a hallelujah out there, baby?
That boy's special, man.
Sir,
He
baby.
got his own. He's
Ooh,
over there in
Lord.
his own circus.
Hey, look at what God loves me.
Let me ask you something, Andrew. I know that part of the recovery process is making an amends, right?
Ooh,
Like,
talk to me.
so how did you make amends for the generator that you stole when the guy
I
was up
still
on the
ain't ran
flag?
into the dude, bro.
Are you gonna pay him for his
I don't
generator?
know what I can't remember, man. He had a hard hat on, a vest. I don't remember what that man looked like. Hey,
You
man.
may need to go buy a
Well,
new generator and drop it off at the electric
just
company,
drop it off on the side of the road for
and,
me.
and hope nobody like you
Oh,
comes
my
along and
Lord.
steals it.
Hey, man. Crazy, ain't it,
Yeah.
man?
So,
Oh,
what's your amends process been like?
it's actually been good, and I noticed this. I've been in, and I attend meetings, and I noticed this in a meeting. We're not supposed to take it out of meetings. I noticed this in several different meetings. Right after Christmas, uh, so many people that hasn't worked the steps, that doesn't have a sponsor, were upset with family members because they made it amends with these family members, and were upset because the family members didn't accept the amends.
Hmm.
So if they would have went through the proper channel, how many times have you told them, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I'm going to do better, I won't do it again? Cried wolf so many times. And don't get it, I'm not getting it tangled up or twisted. I'm sure you meant what you said in that moment, especially if you're locked in a cage, locked up in jail. You meant every word you said on that press box, or looking through that glass, or on the yard. But when we don't do the work, we recreate the same drama, and these people are sick of it.
Yeah.
They're sick of us baiting them in because they want to believe us. They want to love us. They want to give us, they want to believe in us, man. But without the proper work on self, and that's what I noticed, man, because I had a dude, he just starts going off, my brother, and woo, woo, woo. I made amends to him. I asked him if I'll take him to lunch. He told me F me, and he didn't want to have nothing to do with me. Well, I will whoop he's going to carry out. Next time I say, man, check this out. You need to get a sponsor and work the steps, see what that 8-9 is really about, right? I'm forgiving me right through here. But yeah, that was crazy. What was the question? I forgot what we was talking about. Man,
Listen,
damn.
what's it like being a dad in
Oh
recovery?
Lord, it's amazing, man. I have such a great relationship. See, I was facing 10 years. I had a legal aid. I had Matt Ryan, and of course, I had Nicole Baldridge. She was pregnant. They were legal aid lawyers assigned to me, right? Because I didn't have no money. Yeah, yeah. And I'm facing a hot 10 years, and my son, who had seen me selling the shoes off my feet, he's not one of us. And, you get to wear your own clothes, right? So I'm incarcerated. I didn't, of course, I couldn't bond out. But I go to trial just like you see on TV, for the third degree assault on a police officer. And my son is the only one. He shows up with a brand new pair of khakis and a button down shirt and some nice slippers and sat in the courtroom the whole time. He was 16 at the time. Justice is his name. And, and he sat there that whole time, man, and watched, and then already again seen me just love me unconditionally, right? So when he told me about 3, 4 years ago, Dad, I'm so proud of you. And he gets excited. He's my one son that calls me the most, and he does really well for himself. He's got full custody of his 10-year-old son. He's had him since he's 3. He has a daughter now, my granddaughter. And man, it's just, there's no feeling like it. He wants me in his life. I get to go to all the family functions. He can't, Dad, you coming over? You know what I mean? My granddaughters, they stop by. Again, they were adopted. You know what I mean? They stop by to see me. Pretty amazing. And I have a 6-year-old too. 6-year-old son. God's got a sense of humor. So I'm so blessed.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I gotta pee.
What?
Nothing.
So, tell me about blameless children.
Wow. Yeah. Because again, man, these are things. Again, God has put me in positions I didn't apply for, and all I could remember is my granddaughter when she was 4 and she's crying. The CPS worker, thank her for doing her job because they got the hardest job in the world. Damn if they do, damn if they don't. But I'm so grateful for that today, doing for my granddaughter what we couldn't do, keeping her safe and getting her, out of harm's way to continue down the wide path of addiction. Man, and I see this. So Briley's 4 and she's crying. She's like, Papa saved me. I've been up 7 days. I couldn't even save myself. Blameless children. Jordan, again, when he was 5, why don't my daddy love me? See, all this stuff started hitting me, right? I'm talking about an amends right here.
Yeah.
Because I hear so much about the alcoholic, about the addict, right? And so many times we feel bad about the things we do. We feel bad, right? About the people we hurt. Yeah, don't look at those. We're going to get them clean. We feel bad about that. But do we really dig deep enough to see how we've harmed these people, the trauma we've caused in their life, especially the children? So I had a friend. She passed away about 9, 10 months ago. Jerry Hartley. She's amazing. Amazing. I actually talked to her husband yesterday in prayer, Barry, and I'm telling her, I want to do something for the kids. I want to, because they've lived it. I took mine shoplifting. We need to do something for them because that little girl, that little boy is in school and they're isolated because mom, dad's not there, and the grandparents are raising them, and they're isolating. And because we harm them. We rob them of the childhood because they're praying that their dad's okay, that mom's okay. Is she alive? Is she in jail? Kids think of those things. So I took it to Jerry and I told Jerry about it. This was, oh my gosh, coming up on, oh my gosh, 8 years ago. Yes. Yeah. Around 8 years ago, Jerry's husband, Barry, calls me and said, "Hey, we've been talking. We want to help you start your own 501c3. Do you still want to do that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So here's how God works. So I go speak at a church that same day, and I was missing a CPA, right? And this dude just got to speak at this church, right? I get to do my thing and get to let God use me. Dude comes up to me, Rick Grant, and said, "Hey, what's the name of your ministry?" I said, "Well, actually, I'm not a part of anything, but we're working on that. We're starting a nonprofit. My friends have put in, paid an attorney to get this started, yada, yada." And he said, "Well, I'm a CPA. The company I work for allows me 16 hours a month to donate to a nonprofit." He's been with me ever since.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. Praise God. But the thing about blameless children, these kids get up there and share their testimony. And it's a therapeutic value of one blameless child helping another, that one's that's isolated, that one that feels not loved, that not worthy, that he's all alone, that she's all alone, to know they're not alone, that they are loved, that they didn't cause any of this.
So, Blameless Children is a nonprofit where children can share their stories of being kids of addicted parents.
Yes. And also, we do a lot, a lot of things. Again, it's God's glory. And we don't, again, we don't post on social media, but a lot of things behind the gate, we see a lot of grandparents, in need.
Yeah, that's I get a lot of calls and emails from parents and grandparents. And, it's pretty frustrating, to be honest with you, because the parents are always like, we're really busy, and I don't mean this in any kind of offensive way. I'm not trying to offend anybody, right? But it doesn't do any good for you to call me as a grandparent or a parent to tell me that you want to get your grandkid help or your kid help if your kid or your grandkid doesn't want help.
Yeah.
My first question is, well, why are they not the ones calling me? And if the answer is anything other than they're in treatment, they're incarcerated, those are the only justifiable reasons that anybody should be making a call for somebody,
Right.
And like, the sad part about it is recovery is really for people who want it and people who are willing to work for it. But sometimes a person doesn't know they want recovery until they hear it, until they witness it, until they hear somebody like Andrew Hagar give that hope shot, and all of a sudden they're like, damn, I want that. How do I get that?
Right.
And in that crack in the wall, in that split second, recovery becomes a new possibility.
Yeah.
And so I just tell parents all the time, man, like, I don't mean this any offensive way, but they need to be the one to call us, and
no, I get it.
You wanting to know what they need to do is completely relevant.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to get clean or sober on your want to for them. And that's the sad part about it. And I made a video about that a while back. It went kind of viral. Yeah.
Okay.
It popped. It got about 200,000 views
on
it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I had experience, like I said, and I get it. That happens with me a lot. And I'm like, and I'm very understanding, and I'll listen because, in 2017, there was 78,000 Americans died of overdose in the United States, and it's increased since then. But in 2017, my 27-year-old daughter was one of them.
Yeah.
And I get it. I had to look at a lot of things, and this condition of addiction was on me like a gorilla. At that time, I had over 4 years sobriety, clean time, depending on what fellowship you're in, and this thing was on me like a gorilla. Tell me what a terrible person I was. You've never been a father. Telling me to go get one. It really was, man. And I get it. A thought won't get you high, right? But if I would have entertained it, but I did not. I called and I told on it. I took away its power. I called people in my circle, my tight niche, and I'm crying and snot's flying. I tell them, and they get it. so many people showed up at her funeral on my, again, that I met in the rooms. Not only the 12-step fellowship rooms, but church, PAL, Parents of Addicted Loved Ones. It was pretty amazing to be my strength when I had none, and those are one of those no matter what things. Like I told you, I don't believe in life on life terms. There's no terms on life. There really isn't any terms on life. Life shows up like that. It's pretty remarkable how God will work through others and be there for you
Yeah.
and stay vigilant and know the difference in who's feeding your ego and your spirit. Ego and your amigo. Don't edge God out.
So you own the behaviors in your addiction. You own them pretty well.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I do too, right? Like I
Yeah.
was never a victim. I was a volunteer,
Never a
man.
victim, man.
Addiction didn't take shit from me. I was begging the system to lock me up.
Yes.
I was begging the dope man to take everything I've got. Like I was a volunteer. I wasn't a victim.
Yeah, let me get you some 26-inch rims, boy, for your $200 car. Here, take this money. Come on, bro.
Yes, man. Yes.
Oh.
Hey, tell me that story about the cop arresting you. You got anything sharp on you? Might cut me, stick me, poke me.
Oh my gosh, which one was that?
Where the police searched you and poked us.
Oh, there's several. That's how I got the third-degree assault. It wasn't that I tried to beat the cop up. You know what I mean? I'm a job security officer. You know what I mean? I'm here for you. You're going to treat me a little better. But I made a wrong turn. I was in somebody's Ford Ranger. Actually, Trey Noel, who has passed away. God rest his soul. He'd give me the money to go cop, and I was going to cop some dope, and coming out of Midway and into Lexington, and I took a right when I should have took a left. I was going to Red Roof Inn, but I took a right. I'd been up 4 or 5 days, man, tweaking and geeking. I'm shooting some Part 30s, and I'm not glamorizing this, so don't get it twisted. It's snow on the ground. It's in February, and I make a wrong turn, so I wind up behind TGI Fridays. And that day I'd had the truck, I know what day trash day is in the rich neighborhoods. I was taught that as a little boy. So I had this little Walmart safe on the back of the truck that I was going to junk or try to trick off, for $2-3, you know what I mean? Stop it. But anyway, I pull somebody broke in TGI Fridays, again, snow on the ground, police are everywhere. I go up on the cover, oh man. And I just shot up, right? I had blood running down my arm. I had the syringe. I put it in my kangaroo pouch. And I'm like, oh, man, not thinking. So they pulled me out of the truck. Officer Fetco, that's his name. They pulled me out of the truck, and I fit the script. I got a safe on the back, and this place just got broken. Police everywhere.
Yeah, you're going to jail.
Yeah, I'm going to penitentiary. What's a peanut? But I didn't do it. So anyway, snow prints. So they take my shoes off. I mean, it's cold, right? They take my coat off. Of course, I had this little thin UK. It's got a drawstring at the bottom because I pull that too and put the bigger coat over it so I can conceal stuff, right? When I'm shoplifting. Anyway, They take my shoes off. My feet don't fit in the print, so they must have quit. Oh, Jay, I see you, boy. They gonna get you. So they can't charge because I didn't. But then they say, so they got me for the no insurance, the reckless whatever, right? And Officer Fetco, talking to me crazy. I mean, they calling me B words and son of a. I said, well, leave my mama out of this. She ain't done nothing, y'all. She ain't even here, you son of a bitch. What the? Hey, man. But they was just ignorant that night. Now I know they doing their job, man. I get that. But he said, you got anything on your person gonna poke, stick, or harm me? And I said, no, ma'am. And he said, you call me Officer Fetco. You call me sir. I said, okay, honey. And now he's mad. I'm just having fun, man. He said, now this is true story. Now he's mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He done got mad. And I'm like, bro, I'm job security, man. You know what I mean? Because I didn't think I had nothing on me. I thought, okay, they're going to get me for these little charges. I do 2 or 3 days. I think I'm a smart criminal. Tops 30 days. I'll go and rest up, get back out here.
Yeah.
And because that's all I'm having was misdemeanors. You know what I mean? The driving, whatever. It wasn't a DUI because, they didn't hit me with that yet. But he sticks his hand in the kangaroo pouch and boom, he screams. Blood running out his hand. I'm saying, well, why didn't you put gloves on?
Golly.
Yes, boy. But and again, I didn't know, and I didn't know if I had HIV, if I had hepatitis. It ain't like I'm taking a hit of crack. Oh, I gotta go, guys. I got a doctor's appointment in 15 minutes. Don't smoke all the rock. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
we're neglecting all that.
everything.
I know when I got clean, I found out I had Hep C, and
Yeah.
I'd had Hep C for 15 years.
Mm.
I'd been to prison 3 times, and they didn't detect it any time through there. It wasn't until my last time that they told me, "Hey, you're Hep C positive." And so, I ended up having it for about 13, 14 years. And when I got out and I found recovery, another person in recovery walked me through the process of getting Hep C treatment, and
Mm.
they got me on some
Yeah.
medicine. And 12 weeks after starting the medicine, the virus was gone. And for the first time, since I started using IV drugs, then I was Hep C free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I would venture to say 80% of IV drug users have Hep C.
80%. I think that's a good number. But that's just it. That was the whole case because, they got me with third degree assault. They came at me, man. They said 10 years, PFO1 off top.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You're lucky
man,
they didn't give you an attempted murder charge.
there it is. And that's what I was worried about because they kept on, bro. And I'm like, what, dude? I had no intentions. Assault is with the intent. It wasn't like I put this needle on my purse and left the guy. Oh, these police going to pull me over here.
Yeah.
And when they pull me over, I ain't going to tell them I got this needle that way they poked us out. Come on,
like
man.
you could think that good.
Nah, man, look here, nut in a squirrel turd. I'm just trying to get high.
Yeah.
That's the only intention I had was to get one. Lord have mercy, get off me, devil.
Well, since you ain't getting them no more, let me ask you this, Andrew Hagar. What's your favorite thing about being in recovery?
Man, participating in my own life. Having people like you, Jimmy, Teddy Milton, Alicia Howard, the list goes on and on, man. People that it blows me away just being here right now in the studio with you, being able to just have purpose today.
Yeah.
Right. Link church. And that, you know what I mean?
You're getting to live life on purpose and love
hey,
it.
man,
Yeah.
dude, what's not to love?
Yeah. Hey, how many people do you think you have helped get into drug rehab?
That I can't put a number on it, and that's God's glory, and
Like
we both know
100?
that.
I know it's God, but
Yeah,
we're talking
yeah.
about you.
Well, I mean,
So
he's using me, Jimmy.
I know he is, and I appreciate your attempt at humility. But
it's
how
not
many?
an attempt, man. It's the truth.
Like, have you helped hundreds or thousands, or
Man,
what would you say the number is?
I really couldn't put a number on it, man. It is just it amazes me how God has again put me in positions I didn't apply for. How He's used me, man. And again, it's no attempt, Jimmy, man. It's real.
I know
You
that.
know me well.
Yeah.
You know me well as anybody does, and I'm a silly and all this, but
You got a good heart, man.
God is real, man, and God is. I really couldn't, bro. I really couldn't put a number on it.
Okay, well, let me ask you this: how many people have called you to get into treatment this week? How many people have you helped in the last 7 days?
The last 7 days, oh my gosh, easy about 30 people. And
That's crazy, Andrew. You've
well,
helped 30 people get into treatment
well, and
this week.
you called me out the other day, and you're like, bro, just put your phone down for a little while. But you saw it, you're like, okay, I get it. Because we were doing our thing, and I'm like, and I got to get a balance, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, at least 30, like I said, and how many landed? Now, these are not just in my state. These are people that, and again, that just reach out from all over this, United
So
States.
I'm gonna do a quick calculation. 52 times 30. That's 1,560 people that you've helped get into treatment in a year. So if 10% of them stay clean,
Wow.
that's 1,500 people. That's not just one person that you've helped, Andrew. that there is no one when it comes to
No, no.
recovery. So if you helped one person get clean, you help one person become a father, you help one person become a mother. That means you helped one child have a present parent despite what addiction does.
Yeah.
That means that's one generation you affected.
Teach, Pastor.
That's one family that's been restored. There is no one. It's one family. It's one home. It's so
No, and you're right. The ripple effect.
and you've been doing this. Let's just say, golly, what was that number 1530?
And you know, dude, I love, dude, I get so excited when I see there's a couple, and I'm going to mention Levi's name. I love this couple. They got their child back, right? And I see them, bro, and I get excited about people, man. I get excited about seeing people shine, dude.
As you should.
Yes, yes.
So let's let the listeners get to know who Andrew is on the inside.
Uh-oh.
Okay, yeah. What's your favorite movie?
Oh my gosh, Cinderella Man.
With Nicolas Cage and
no, definitely not Nicolas Cage.
Who is Cinderella Man? That's the
I don't know.
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
Wait.
Gladiator. Russell Crowe. Cinderella Man. Russell Crowe. Excuse me.
What's Cinderella Man about?
Oh my gosh, bruh. About the depression back in the help me. What years?
I mean, why do you think Ty is the most intellectual? Hey,
I think Ty's intellectual, man. He's a smart guy over to the right.
You're the producer.
I got a smart guy to the right of me. About when the depression hit real quick in the United States, and it was
okay.
Hoover Park and all that, or whatever.
Did you have a favorite type of music when you were growing up?
Man, I grew up on Conway and Loretta. I grew up on Boxcar Willie. A lot of the listeners ain't gonna know nothing about all that.
Boxcar Willie.
Yes, sir.
I think for me, music and movies really influenced me. It had me really confused, thinking that if I could be the first guy up and on the block, I could turn these dusty ass Nikes into a 4-door Impala.
What?
Now, the problem with that is I was chasing the image the movies and music was putting in my head, but I couldn't quit getting high. See, I had Dope Fiend Hustle. Well, I had Dope Boy Dreams with the Dope Fiend Hustle, and it just wasn't working out.
Gonna work, man.
I couldn't quit getting high long enough to save no money.
I know that's right. I'm with you. Dub me up. I'm trying to get my money today. Wind tunnel. Send me a 20 dub, cuz I'm out here trying to get this money, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, do you have a pet?
I had a pet.
Did you kill it?
No, they had to put him down when I was facing the 10 years. He started freaking out.
Well, that was a long time ago.
A long time ago. I don't have a pet now. His name was Beans. I love him. He was half pit and some other stuff, man. I love this dog, man. And, that's why I try not to get too attached to animals today.
What do you think about my dogs?
They're awesome, dude. they're so protective. And I was a little nervous. Like I said, I got Beans tatted on me, son Beans, Corleone. Why?
Gang, gang.
Gang, gang. Gang, baby.
Beans representative.
Beans, boy. Yo, they knew him in jail, huh? They like, dude, Beans is your dog, Emma. I said, lay down, drunk. Do your time. Shut up. Bond out. Do something. Get out of my face. I was scared. But no, I think I love it. And I get it. Because it's, again, family. I mean, you had these guys for 6 years, family. They're very protective.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't let me in the door when I got there.
Yeah.
They had to fill me out, and I like that. I like that because I'd want that to fill this person out in case my discernment's off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real. Need to respect the dog.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. So, how do you deal with haters?
I don't look, man. No response is response.
What's some of your triggers?
What do you mean triggers? Triggers as far as dope? I've lost the obsession. No triggers.
You don't have any triggers like you can
triggers to use?
Yeah.
Or triggers to punch somebody in their soup coolers. Here's what you do.
Well, how do you we're taught to stay away from people, places, and things that lead back to drug use. So what's some of the things that you do your best to avoid to keep from getting high?
Again, I'm coming up on 10 years, man. I mean, for real, I'm coming up on 10 years. The obsession has been lifted, but I got to stay focused in order to keep it going, because when these demons are cast out with this drug, you know what I mean? With their cast out, I got to stay in Him to continue to seek His power to keep me from picking up. Right. So I can't say I don't believe in triggers. The only trigger I know was a horse that Roy Rogers rode in the Western. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
saying.
What about relationships for people in early recovery? What do you think about those?
Oh man, this is my opinion. I am not. That is not a good question for me. I am just yeah, man, relationships are tough. I just went through a 7.5 year relationship. God blessed me in a relationship with a 6-year-old son, and it was toxic.
Yeah.
And me being codependent, I was hanging on with claws in it, right?
Yeah.
And not even liking the chick, but loving my son and feeling from my background, I was doing the right thing. But again, God removed that, and I'm so grateful. The burden has been lifted,
Yeah.
and I would suggest we find ourselves, man. But
Before
but
dating anybody.
before, and I know it's an unwritten thing in the literature, but I gotta find me. I gotta love me, and it talks about I gotta love me enough, no matter who leaves me, who don't love me, that no matter what, I'm gonna be okay.
Well, we're sick people.
We are sick.
We get our feelings hurt, and we get vengeful.
Oh
Like,
Lord, they my feelings. How can you hurt them? Because I let you show.
yeah. Well, it doesn't matter how they get hurt. You hurt mine, I'll be in there staring at you like I want to go piss in your gas tank right
I'm
now.
getting ready.
Yeah, be outside the meeting place with a rock, ready to
I'm
throw it at you from across the parking
I'm
lot,
trying
hit
to
you right in
squirt
the head.
lighter fluid on you when you come out the meeting. Here, go up in
Yeah,
flames one time for me. Hallelujah.
burn, love,
I love
burn.
you. Because I go do some easy time knowing you gone. What the peanut? Get off
Relation,
me, devil. That's the
yeah.
devil talking, y'all. That
Well,
ain't me. Hallelujah.
they say relationships and resentments are two little twisted serial killers skipping through
Yes.
recovery, holding hands.
Yeah, and it's so easy because that's all we want. We want to be loved. We want that significant other, man. But be good with you. And I am so happy today. I am just like, okay, I made it through, right? Those no matter
Yeah,
what. And to realize, God doing for me what I wouldn't do for myself, man.
yeah.
God has blessed me abundantly to remove these things out of my life. I would suggest, and this is my opinion, because this is something I shouldn't even speak. Relationships ain't my thing, man. I'm working on me each and every day so I can be a better person, not to take those past relationships into new relationships. And I see it so many times. Someone's hurt you, and you're automatically on the fence, thinking this next one's going to do it to you. You're taking the old relationship into a new one, like I just said. All people are
Okay.
different. Anyway, jump back. I want to kiss myself. I love me.
All
Ooh,
right.
somebody hold me. I'm just a boy. Hold me.
I think, me and Chelsea, I got in a relationship pretty early on in my
Right.
recovery, but I was 38 years old. I was grown. I was burned out on like, and Chelsea was at that point too. We're like, hey, if this works, it works. If it don't,
Yeah.
oh well. We're not chasing each other. We're not worried about who's doing what. And we got a pretty awesome marriage. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
We're. I mean, we have days when we're just a total train wreck because not only are we both alcoholics and addicts, but we both have mental health issues too.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
And so on any given day, like Chelsea could be going through it mentally, I could be going through it mentally. We both are on medicine, non-narcotic, non-abusable meds that, you know, so
Right, right. Well, and then that's me, man. I always, I tell I tell on it. I tell on everything, no matter
yeah,
what
me
I'm
too.
feeling. I tell on these emotions that I'm having without lashing out first and hurting somebody or regretting what I said, because words can be forgiven, but they can't be forgotten, and I'm very careful with that.
Yeah.
Because I want to lay in that perfect peace, and if I'm going to be in that peace, I got to stay in Him. And I mean this when I say this, man. I step back and be like, whoa, Why is this affecting me? What part of self is this is hurting? Is this my pride? Is my ego?
Ego, yeah.
Let me
That's
get
good.
out the way right here.
Yeah.
And
Have
it
have
ain't easy.
No, no, it's not easy, man. And we go through. People think just because we got sober that we're a saint, man.
Aren't you soft too?
Yeah.
Okay, killer.
Hey, man, we go through some things. We feel some things, and it is not easy to live a principled life. Have you ever had a fight in recovery?
I had a dude, and this was, I think I had 3 years at the time.
3 years.
3 years. I've been doing it. It was on my third year, and a dude called me the B word on social media,
Okay.
and I knew who he was from the rooms.
Oh yeah.
So
He was
I
he was
show
in your
up.
area.
Yeah, and my son just got out of prison. My oldest son, he's Hercules, big old boy, right?
Hmm.
Who is this dude, Dan? Woo, woo, woo. All right, man, don't sweat that. So I went to the meeting where I knew the dude would be at. And again, this is all running off pride, right? Old flesh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because why did I let this, it's all it was, pride and ego.
Yeah.
So I talked to the dude ignorant. And he's like, I ain't, I call all my friends. I
The
don't know
B
what
word.
kind of friends you got, buddy.
But I ain't gonna be your B
Oh,
word.
I'm gonna get ready and punch you right in your soup coolers, boy.
Yeah.
It went crazy. And he started backtracking and, oh well, I'm sorry, I apologize. Woo, woo. But we ain't ever spoke since then. But I'm glad it ended that way because I was gonna trick my time off.
Yeah. Now
I was
we're
getting ready to trick everything off
yeah.
over some pride, some ego.
Yeah.
Because why do I let that affect me? It's all pride and ego.
Yeah. We get in some
I'm worried
arguments in
about,
that first three
yeah.
years, man.
I'm
Now
worried about what you think.
yeah.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
I show you I hurt
You ain't
me.
paying my bill. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna drink the poison. I'm gonna shut your mouth and hope you die. Here's what you do.
Yeah. So, I mean, were you a fighter in your addiction?
I've done. I wouldn't say I was a fighter. I did whatever it took to get some dough, but I've done some slimy stuff.
Straight grimy.
Yeah, grimy. I took a. Again, I got to be careful. I ain't no statute of limitations on this. I ain't trying to get hemmed up over here. But yeah, we all do things we normally wouldn't do, or like you said, we get caught up in some rap music and think I'm a killer.
Yeah.
I've done some things that, and I actually ran into the fellow that I'd done it to, and he said, "I was looking for you on the yard." He's in recovery now. And I looked for you on the yard. I said, "Well, you didn't look hard enough. I seen you in intake, and you turned your head because I
Yeah.
took some things, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I get it.
I'm just I can't.
Now when you were incarcerated, did you ever get in a jail fight?
I was in the hole a lot. I was really easygoing. I didn't bother nobody. I took it for what it is. It's jail. I knew. You know what I mean. The late night, them slamming dominoes or whoever, this and that. It is what it is. I never really know. Never really got in an altercation.
You're too busy
I
trying to get them boys out the commissary.
trying to. Yeah. The hustle didn't stop. I didn't do it. Trying to be a bully or nothing. I befriended them and, newcomers, you catch a fish, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I've been to the hole a few times for instigating a riot, false charges. Yeah, what the peanut?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. And I had to, go before the, the caseworkers, the jail staff and everything, a trial inside the jail and found not guilty. uh, what was that? Helsby, Officer Helsby. He could not stand me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And the guy didn't like me. So again, I get these trumped up charges for instigating a riot, and that never happened, and promoting contraband that wasn't found. What the peanut? But yeah, man, I didn't, man. Look here, man. The police were just doing their job, and I got all that, and I also got that I was job security, even behind the walls, and there was no need to complain or start, or get caught up into ignorance.
Hmm.
I've had a few altercations, and that's all they were. They didn't go any further, over the phone. Uh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The phone,
Yeah.
the TV's the worst.
Always over the TV, the
Oh,
phone, or
TV or the
the
phone.
bathroom.
Try to, yeah.
somebody's hygiene, one of the quickest ways in the Arkansas Department of Corrections is a little bit different than other states, right? Like there's no prison politics here. So like in larger states like Arizona,
You got the
California,
politics.
Texas, you can't associate with other races,
Right,
and
right,
that's just not here. You can be best friends or talk to whoever you want to in Arkansas. You see,
right.
uh, there's really no racial politics, and it's not organized like that, and so. But the quickest way, one of the quickest ways to get into it in the Arkansas Department of Corrections is talking to somebody before you brush your teeth or wash your face.
Oh, dirty butt.
Yeah, I mean, it's the
Mm,
first thing you learn because,
yeah.
and you'd see it all the time. People who grew up different with culture and uh, that would brush their teeth and spit toothpaste in the sink. Well,
Mm,
if you do that in Arkansas, you're fighting.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Somebody's going to check you. They're going to say something to you like they just want you to spit in the toilet, not the
Well,
not
what
the
about
sink.
when they spit in the trash can? Oh,
Yeah,
Lord.
they'll say something to you about
Yeah,
that
yeah,
too.
real quick. You know what I mean? Or all up in your face and then brush their teeth, smelling like they just eat a whole porta potty and wanting to talk to you like, oh, dirty butt breath, boy. Go on now, get.
Yeah. Well,
What the,
let me hit that wood.
what the peanut?
Let me get a
Oh,
shot of that
man.
coffee.
No home training.
Yeah.
Man, get in there and do something with yourself, boy.
Yeah.
Scoot. Huh.
So I got a couple more questions for you. Is there a special somebody?
I, 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 I'm just gonna, I'm really excited. Again, it's early, but we have a lot of say. Her name's Sheena. I'm excited.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited about Sheena. I
Sheena.
feel good
I feel
about.
good, Sheena.
Oh, it's my baby. Also, again,
Okay.
she's in recovery as well. Been through a lot, and again, we just hit it off, right? Um, our first date went to a meeting I spoke at, and it wasn't even a date. You know what I mean? And her personality, man, she just makes me smile, makes me glow inside. I think I do the same for her. But again, we're working on our defects of not carrying old relationships into this one, and taking time out um, just be happy and work on again. Just see where God leads us.
Okay.
Sheena
All right.
girl, you are my hey girl, hey. Oh,
I,
stop it.
I don't know if that's
Scoot.
the sound of the mic. I mean, but
Lottie, hey. You're
yeah, I don't know
stupid.
if you need to try to carry that note.
Somebody hold me. What
Yeah.
the?
All right. What's the most important thing for a new person in recovery, from your opinion?
Ooh, that's a good question. The most important thing, man, is stay open minded. The three essentials, the three indispensables, depending on what fellowship you're in. Honesty, open minded, willingness. Always be willing to be open minded. Always be willing to stay honest. That rigorous honesty goes a long way. Even the little things. Willing, even when you don't want to go. Go to what led you, that tree of blessings, and you keep getting these blessings. Don't stop getting under that tree, whether it be the fellowship of 12 steps, whether it be the church. Continue to go, because that evil committee don't go anywhere. Keep doing what you're doing to get the blessings. Don't forget where they come from. And that's what I like to call it, a tree of blessings, man. Because we get stagnant. Oh, well, I went last week. I'm going to take it. No, you used dope against your will. Huh? You did whatever it took to get that next one,
And liked it.
and liked it. Keep going, man. Keep coming. And don't get in your head that you have nothing to offer. I need to hear you.
Yeah.
So I need to hear you. I need to know what's going on. I need to hear, what you're struggling with, and I love it. And I so love it. I don't love that people has fallen back off, because relapse is not a part of recovery. It happens. I get that. But when I hear somebody come back with the courage and the strength to say, "Man, I had 15 years and I fell off. Today I stand in front of y'all, and I got a week." I got a week. I'm listening to you because I want to know what happened. And usually, what I've heard is they stopped doing what they were doing to get the blessings of recovery.
Yeah.
and it speaks volume, depth, and weight. And if you listen, you stay open minded. You're not running outside to smoke. You're not trying to hit the girl up at the coffee pot. I get it. If you're listening to the people share, man, even situations you haven't been through yet. And when they arrive at your doorstep, when they're knocking on your door, you have heard how people triumphed and walked through those hardships. Amen.
Yeah,
Can y'all
man.
hallelujah one time on the comments? Give me a skirt one time, baby. Oh,
So,
we
in
go.
closing, I want you to look right here at this camera, and anybody that you want to say anything to, you say it. Whatever message you want to leave the listener with.
Oh man, hey, look, real talk, man. My name's Andrew Hagar, and I'm honored. It's a privilege to be here with Jimmy McGill on his podcast today, Prison to Purpose, because we all have a voice, and why not use that voice in a positive way and show others a way out, allowing God to use us. I just want you to know that you are loved, you are worthy, you're not worthless. Don't let this here lie to you. Don't let that devil. He tells us all lies, and they're all the same lies. Get off me, devil. Quit letting him beat you up. You get out the way and realize how beautiful you truly are. We need you. The world needs what you have to offer. Please don't ever give up, man. Don't ever give up. Prison of Purpose coming at you all the way right through here. My man Jimmy McGill. We ain't playing about it. We praying about it. We turning Jesus up, baby. Huh? Our Lord and Savior, no doubt about it. Huh? The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the best rock on the block, baby. Huh? Jesus. Hallelujah. Turn him up one time. Thanks for allowing me to share. We're going to live today. Amen. Pop.
That's awesome. Well, Andrew, I want to thank you for coming
Oh,
on the
top of the
show,
world.
and I want to thank all the listeners, the followers on all of our social media platforms. If you haven't found us yet, please go like, follow, and subscribe to all of our platforms. You can listen to this podcast on all streaming stations, Spotify, Amazon, anywhere you want to listen to your podcast from. You can find long form content on our YouTube from Prison to Purpose. You can catch us on TikTok, Prison to Purpose, Facebook at Facebook Live, or Facebook at Jimmy McGill Live. Please go check us out. We want to thank you for every like, every share, every comment, every time you engage. You grow our platform, and that gives us the ability to carry a longer message further. And if you have any particular person that you want to hear their story on the show, please inbox us. Let us know in the comments. We love you, and we will see you next time.
You've been listening to From Prison to Purpose with Jimmy McGill. Please subscribe on any of the major podcasting platforms and on YouTube at Prison to Purpose. This podcast is produced by Ty King with American Business Engine and executive producer Jimmy McGill. For more information, visit us at jimmymcgill.org.